Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So now we're going live. All right. So good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, I think Belinda, you got a hot mic. I'm gonna mute you just to make sure. All right. So real quick, welcome. This is Cheat Code. I'm JD the Great or Jeff Durandis. You can find me on cheatcode.com. What I am one of the funded coaches, funded futures coaches. And we're going to go ahead and get into some mindset. So today's price action was very, very interesting. So here's my schedule so that way y'all know when I am on, and you can find me on cheatcode.com. But let's get to the most important part, the whole thing of why you're here. Look at today's action. What looked like was going to be a continuation bearish momentum basically hit a little bit of a rewind, and it went ahead and pushed all the way back up and then pushed back down. So we finished with a doji, which is very similar to the doji that we put in right here. So that, I would say for the most part, is a little bit of a surprise to the market. It was either was going to be a continuation from the previous day, or it was just going to be a nice little pop-up, and then there's probably going to reverse in the day. But that's not what happened. Remember, we take what the market gives us for the most part. All right. So we're going to leave that right there. Okay. So what we're going to be covering right now is I'm going to preface this, especially we're in the middle of football season. This is something I was going to use in one of my mindsets. My mindset is usually on Saturdays at 10 a.m. By all means, you can come and join in. It's very interactive. But the goal is for us to reset back to zero. The whole purpose of us having this meeting today is so that way we can reset to zero in the middle of the week, because when you have a massive move in the market like this, you can either A, be completely depressed because you're like, well, the market went against me and you was thinking something else, or B, you'll be completely elated. You don't want to get the big head. And the goal is for you to respect the market, because if you don't respect the market, the market will take the money back when it's all said and done. So I want to focus, and the title of this is going to be trading in the end zone, right? How to score big when the pressure is on. Okay, so I want y'all to like really write that down, how to score big when the pressure is on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first part of this, hold on, let me grab, move my notes around. Hold on, let's get that back. There we go. All right, so the first part about it, I'm going to do a lot of referencing of basically Deion Sanders. I don't know if you know who Deion Sanders is. His alias is Prime Time. So how he comes across, he can come across very abrasive or extremely confident, and some people probably find it very, very what's the word? Arrogant, right? Off-putting. Exactly, right? So the beauty about why I'm building this around Deion Sanders is because at the end of the day, it's all about performance. In the market, we have to perform properly, because at the end of the market doesn't care what's happening, right? In his skill, the offensive player is not going to be like, oh, well, you know what? It's Deion Sanders. I might as well not try. Oh, well, it's such and such, and he's trying to trade in the market, so I'm not even going to try to take his money. I'm not going to try to trigger his stop loss. I'm not going to try to make him lose any type of funds whatsoever. What they're going to do, they're going to do the same thing as you are doing. There's one person that's on the other side of you. Granted, we're talking about an entire market, so it's a group, right? It's their ideology, their strategies, everything, and they converge at the market. That's why we have all this back and forth in the market, right? So at the end of the day, let's really dive deep into this. The market itself is your opponent, right? They're the rival team. They're the ones that is going to be completely ferocious. They're going to be completely unpredictable and unforgiving, because their goal is the same as your goal. What happens in football? That person is trying to win the game. They're trying to score that touchdown, and you are the person that's trying to stop them from scoring. You're not a spectator. You're not watching the market unless you're out of your trade and you're trying to find your entry or how you're going to get in or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you are the player in the market, and there's someone that's going to try to stop you from getting to your own touchdown. All right. So Jim Rome has said once, right? Don't wish it were easier. Just wish that you were better, right? Because when the competition faces you, right, they come with all their preparation. They've already did their back testing. They already did their strategy. They know exactly how to execute in the market because they've already did their homework. The question is, did you do your homework? So as we get into the middle of the week, we already know the past 3 days has passed, right? We already went through Monday, Tuesday, and the market just closed for Wednesday. So tomorrow, what are you going to do? Did you do your homework so that way you can be competitive in the market? Or did you just kind of, you know what, I took the trade hero trade, right? And then after I took the trade hero trade, I'm just wading in the water, and wherever the market pushed me, just like waves in the ocean, I'm just going to go wherever it is. But then you get a riptide and you're about to drown. You're way far from the beach. Why is that? It's because you're not prepared. You got to wish that you are better. Embrace the fact that there's competition on the other side. Embrace that there is a challenge to the market, because if it was easy, every single person would have the same skill set as you. All the work that you've done on knowing what support and resistance are, all the disciplines that you put as far as making sure you have your stop loss in place, those things are the factors that create you. We already talked about it. We talked about this on Saturday, focusing on your dreams, right? If you're focusing on your dreams, then you can put everything in place so that way you are successful. Now, why is competition so important? Why does competition matter? All right. So a lot of my people at cheatcode.com, they already understand I use a lot of motivational speakers as reference points and everything else. Myron Golden teaches us that money follows value, right? Money follows value. So if you can't even value your preparation before the market takes off, then why are you doing it? If you actually see red in your portfolio right now, ask yourself, what type of preparation did you set? Did you put a proper stop loss, or did you just let the trade run? Now, I'm not saying this that just because you're red, you did something wrong. Remember, at the end of the day, the trade's going to do what the trades are going to do. So the question that you have to ask yourself, were you fully prepared so that way you gave yourself the best opportunity to get high probability trades that's going to go in the direction that you're anticipating? If your answer is no, this is what this class is for. This is what this class is for. It's for a midweek reset. Let's not wait all the way to Saturday. We could do that, right? And then we reset. Then you got Sunday to kind of like chill, kick your feet up. And then Monday comes, you probably forget half of the stuff that I'm talking about. So let's get this all on the table. Be honest with yourself. What have you done? Have you journaled? Embrace the competition, right? So Deion Sanders thrived on competition. He felt because there was competition, it brought the best out of him, right? The tighter the competition, the more you grow. Because if we're fighting for those same ticks, when we're in the middle of consolidation, there's only one winner. If we're taking this in the football aspect, the moment that the ball is snapped, the moment they say hike, the moment they meet in the middle, if it's a running play or a pass play, this side is basically coming to stop them from scoring, and this side is doing everything it can so that way they can score. So that consolidation where they're all meeting, that is that scrimmage point. That's where the argument, that's where the conversation is. That's where we analyze, is this a doji candidate? Is this support? Right now, we're looking at this level right here. This whole entire level is showing a sense of support. The cheat code algo is basically laying it out. If you were short in the market, this will be a key point for you to take profit. This is something that triggered over what? Since the 20th? Letting you know if you wanted to go short here. Take your profit here. Now, I'm going to ask everybody, did you take your profits here? The cheat code algo laid it out for you. So now, what is your plan? So let's get into the psychology of winning, right? Because winning starts in one place and one place only. It starts here, right? You got to have a winning mindset. You got to know that when you're coming in, your goal is to win. If you are getting hit at your stop loss, that's okay. But don't turn a losing situation worse. It's like fumbling the ball. You're trying to do too much. You're forcing something that's not there. Take what the market gives you. Take what the defense gets you. The market's on defense. They're trying to stop you from scoring $1. That's their goal. And it's up to you to go ahead and put that plan into effect. So psychology of winning, right? Deion Sanders often says, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. Shout out to Neo. We've always referenced this a lot. It applies to trading, right? So when you're going in, if you're looking really good in your preparation, if you already got all your setups, if you already got all your levels, by all means, I know everybody already has a strategy, and you could put a 1 in the chat. What did you actually execute your strategy? Did you put yourself in a winning mentality? Put a 1 in the chat if you did that. That way you can go ahead and say, it wasn't me, it was my strategy. And that means all of you, because at the end of the day, even if you made a green day today, it wasn't you, it was the strategy. Because if you were involved, you would have moved your take profit and move it a little further. And then you probably be like, oh, I'm going to see if I can hold on to it longer. That's when the emotions come into play. If you took a losing trade, if you were involved and didn't execute your strategy, your stop loss would have been so close. You'd be like, oh, it's so close. Let me just push it a little bit down because I want to stay in the trade. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. Execute your strategy because you already did the homework, because you went to practice. You ran your reps with paper trading, hidden replay, testing your strategy over and over and over again. And guess what? Now it's time to execute at the big game. Every time the market opens at 9:30, depending on what you're trading, every time the market opens at 9:30, that is when the clock starts. Boom, game starts. But that's exactly it. The Carlo, you're not the first one. I promise you, we are all traders. I could tell you, everybody that's in here, we got about what we got, like 20 people. We got 20 people in here, and I bet you every single one here experienced it at least once. It's part of the game. It's what you do about it that changes you, so that way you can be a professional trader, just like a pro athlete. So let's go ahead and keep on going. So the psychology of winning, right? Jim Rohn emphasized the importance of personal development. The moment you decided to become a trader, get your first trading view, go ahead and click execute your trade, or open your account, all that. That is the moment that you started working on personal development. Because everyone here, you could put a 1 in the chat. You could chime in wherever you need. At the end of the day, who you were yesterday is not the same as today. And so on and so on. 3 months ago, when you first picked up your chart, you're not the same person. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, however long your trading journey is, you have been 1% better. You learn that supports are important. You learn that stop losses are important. You learn that I have to take profit because it can go the other way. These are the processes that you build up, so that way you can become a better trader. So he emphasizes the importance of personal development, right? Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. I could throw you all the books, all the master classes, all the strategies. I could give you every single indicator that's on TradingView, every single one of them. But until you build that personal development, so that way you can build that trading identity. Remember, we talked about focus on your dreams. We broke it down where you have to find your identity, right? You have to optimize. You have to build those conditions. What was that for? That was for personal development. So that way you can end up from the inside, execute with as close as robotic, yet emotional to a certain degree, because you are human, execution as possible. Because it's the strategy that gets you the money. On our futures trading floor, what do? We remove the dollar amount. because dollar amounts automatically make you emotional. Right, let me give you an example, right? So if I turned around and hand you $100 bill, right, and say it's yours to keep, and then out of nowhere I send you $100 bill invoice, letting you know you owe me $100, your first reaction is gonna be like, "What the hell is this? Why are you sending me this bill right now?" That's your first reaction that's going to be in place. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, the emotion kicks in on what you did with the $100. If I knew that it was going to do that's human nature. In the market, that's what you're doing. You're sending money out to the market and you're basically giving them an invoice. Hey, I need you to come back with some money. I need you to do this, that, and the third. But you didn't give it to them to keep. So at the end of the day, when you're putting your strategy in place and you're executing your strategy, you want it to come back with money. So it's up to you to do the self-education portion. I cannot click the buttons for you. That's not my job. My job is to coach you, put you in a position of high probability success from a support standard as far as strategy, planning, triage, and then on a mindset scale, which is what we're doing today, so that way you can go in with straight objectivity. So let's put some practical steps, right? At the end of the day, right, the market is vicious. Don't shy away from big trades. I want you to write that down. Do not shy away from big trades. Now, this does not mean for you to extend your take profit further. I'm saying when you're planning your trades, if the opportunity is there, it's because you've already did your top-down analysis. Don't shy away from big trades. If it looks like the 4-hour candle is going to go ahead and take off to a certain direction, it might last that whole entire 4 hours. That's what happened today. We went 4 hours in one direction and then 4 hours back another direction. Do not shy away from big trades. Just like Deion Sanders didn't shy away from big games, don't shy away from big trades. Assess the risk. Every moment that you're in the market, because we've already talked about this in Mindset on Saturday, at the end, the market is designed on exposure. That is what we're doing. The moment that we step into the market, we click in the button and we execute our trade, we put our dollars out there, we expose our dollars into the market. The goal is, how long are you going to be in that exposure? All right, so let me break down the word exposure, right? Why do we have housing, right? We could be exposed to the elements. There's only so much wind you can take. There's so much rain that you can take. There's so much sun that you can take. Too much wind, you're going to be cold. You're going to catch a cold. Congratulations, now you're sick. Too much rain, guess what? You're soaking wet. Yeah, you're probably going to be sick as well. Too much sun, even too much sun is too much, where you could actually get ulcers or anything on your skin because you're exposed to the elements for too long. You have to shelter your portfolio from the exposure of the market. You fail to do that, I'm telling you this right now, you're going to lose. But don't shy away from big trades in the process. Just manage the risk of it. Put your stop loss into profit. How much are you willing to risk each time that you're taking a trade? All right, I'm up 10%. I'm willing to risk 5%. I'm up 100%. I'm going to risk 90%. I'm sorry, 10% of it. That way I take away 90% when it's all said and done. 200, 300, 400. I'm pretty sure everyone between the Buckies and the Chrissies and all the coaches that you've spoke to, they do not allow them. I'm going to just leave my stop loss all the way down here at break even though I'm up 1,000%. No, there is a dollar amount that they're okay with in between where the price is currently at and where they're happy if it stops them out. Number 2, I want you to write this down. Learn from your losses. Now, you're going to lose games. Sorry. All right, that's football reference. You're going to lose trades, right? There's no way. And if you have anybody, and I said this on Saturday, anybody that tells me they win 100% of their trades, I promise you, you just met yourself a pathological liar. It's impossible. Because You can't be perfect. I don't care what algorithm. Everything is a game of probability. It's a numbers game. And at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure when we do win, we win big. And when we lose small. Get right quick, right? Myron Golden points out that your net worth will only grow to the extent that you do. Learn from your failures, learn from your setbacks. If this week has been a rough week for you, and my future slow, we were talking about it earlier. I had a little bit of a challenge. There was people that still made money. But at the end of the day, you got to learn from the setbacks. What can I do differently so that way I am more successful going forward? Because every lesson is a lesson. All right. Now, my favorite one, and we talked about this on Saturday, celebrate your wins. If you had a green day, by all means, take something off the table. Get yourself something nice. That way you can enjoy the fact that you've extracted money from the market. It is not easy and it doesn't always happen. There is no guarantees in the market. If you was expecting it to be a bullish day, guess what? Today was not a bullish day. It was a very indecisive, mostly down, and then it just reversed at the end of the day. There is no guarantees. You have to be able to move forward where you accept the fact that you will face losses, not shy away from big trades. Don't be scared that you're making so much money. And then celebrate your wins. Take some money. Go get yourself some dinner. Buy your wife something. Do something good that you got out of the market. Now, for that to happen, there is a couple things that's gonna basically push you to the edge. Like I said, it's not easy. You got to be able to navigate your pressure, because there will be pressure. There will be problems. You might lose 2 trades in a row, 3 trades in a row, 4 trades in a row, maybe even 5. It might cause you to second guess why you're doing this in the first place. Let's be completely truthful with ourselves. Trading is not for the faint of heart. You could be dancing today and crying in the car tomorrow, like Neo says. Myron Golden says that if you're going to have a future you have never had, you have to do something that you've never done. So how are you dealing with the pressures that the market can apply to you? Because they are coming. And if you never face them, oh, trust me, eventually one of them is going to come. And I'm not wishing ill will to your trading journey. I'm just being a realist. It's not going to be a perfect setup every time. If you're looking for a W that's going to go ahead and look like an exact W, I promise you this, there might be a W that's just going to go sideways and it kind of has a little lean on the shoulder. Same thing with head and shoulders, cup and handles. All of the patterns are not exactly the same when they happen. How you execute can be affected by the creativity of the market. Why is that? Because every individual, all the way from institutionals down to the retail traders, are inside of the market right now. So the collective emotion and strategy is sitting right in front of you. And they're driving the market. You're just a participant in it. How you deal with it comes with it. All right. So how do you keep your cool under pressure? We've already talked about it. If you have a strategy, your stop loss is X amount, your entry is X amount, your target is X amount, all you have to do is just overlay it on the chart when your setup is there. And guess what? You get whatever is there. You get whatever is there. It's either it hits your stop loss, you take a L, but it's going to be small. And then when you hit your target, it's so far away from your entry, you get in a 2-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1 ratio, depending on whatever leverage that you are. So that's how you handle that. Keep your strategy. Always go into the market. Do not go into the market blind. If you want to have undue, self-inflicted, self-damaging pressure, go into the market without a strategy just because you saw a candle that looked good. You'll see the results. You could paper trade that and put it to the test. Another way of navigating is pressure. Strategy turns pressure into an ally. Just like any quarterback with 2 minutes on the clock, You need to have that playbook on the side. So if your strategy and all the triage is in your notebook, I have my notebook right here. I'm reincorporating it. I kind of strayed away from it. I'm going to bring this back. If you are not sitting next to your playbook, I suggest that you start. Write down what your strategy is. Write down what the setup should be. Put your what to expect. Put your why you're in the trade, and also put where you want to get off. That's 3 W's. What, where, and why. You need to know what you're looking for. What type of condition, what type of setup are you looking for? Is it a 513 crossover over the 55 EMA? All right. What's your entry on the first green candle after that? Where's your stop loss? Where is your target? You set those and you're at peace. Whatever happens, happens. All right. So in conclusion, let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right. If Deion Sanders taught us anything, it's about swagger and skill. You put them together, automatic combination. It's an ultimate combination because you have to have a winning mindset every single day that you take that trade. Because if you don't, you're going to hesitate. And if you hesitate, you're going to have a bad entry. And if you have a bad entry, your stop loss is either going to be super wide and it could trigger, or you're going to get stopped out quick because you're in the wrong spot. So you got to put the simple pieces over and over and over and over and over again. If you have a paper trade, you're going to have to paper trade, paper trade, paper trade, paper trade. I know I sound like a broken record, but you're not going to gain anything that you haven't practiced. So Jim Rome has said this: success is nothing more than simple disciplines practiced every day. So the more you take those setups, the more I call it muscle memory. The more the muscle memory is in place, guess what ends up happening? It's second nature. I'm just executing my trade because I've done it so much and I see what the success has done. I get a 60% success rate every time I see this setup, and it goes with this direction with the proper stop losses and take profit. That's all you're doing. So as you go into the market on Thursday, and I know it's not going to be easy, especially if you felt like the market has been going against you, you expected that it was going to do something and it went against you, or you made so much money, you even exceeded your goals. You exceeded your goals. Now you feel like I can up my goals. I want you to just temper yourself a little bit. Get something nice for yourself. I've already stated that. But remember that it could have been another way. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give like 5 minutes. If anyone wants to chime in, did you learn anything from today? How was your day? How was your trading today? Did you hit your goals?
My trading was great. Oops.
All right, we got
Go ahead.
All right, Felita, you can go first.
It's just coming to me more and more how, I mean, I have to admit it, I've just been trading like with a strategy in my head, and it's very clear that that doesn't work because my emotions come in. They see a big fat candle and find all the reasons why I should enter. And then when it goes wrong, then I notice the reasons why, oh, I shouldn't have. If I had my strategy in front of me, for me, I need to write my strategy down, continue to back test it, but always have my strategy there. And the criteria has to be there for me to enter. It just has to. It's not going to work for me any other way. So that's what I have learned this past week and a half. And I know you guys say it all the time. I remember Neo said that he used to, when he first started, he had a little piece of paper. He rolled that piece of paper out in front of his laptop or his computer, and that had his strategy on it. And you say it all the time, but and the other thing I'm learning is all the stuff that you guys say all the time. I'll speak for me, I need to really pay attention because it's been tried and tested, and it would save me a whole lot of frustration and blowing my first prop account or whatever. So yeah, I'm just learning that for me right now, the step I'm taking is being very concise on developing my strategy and having the discipline to stick to it and see what happens from there.
Yep. And when you had a successful trade with it, did you notice that it was exactly your strategy and you executed it without any hesitation?
No, I'm still hesitating. I'm still in that phase where, girl, this could go bad real quick. That's another thing. I have to work on my mindset. The winning mindset is everything. Yep. The energy that I bring to it. I can't be tired. I can't be frustrated. I just, have to be able to be in a space where I can be quiet and just focus. Energy is everything as well. Yep. And so I also found some trading meditations. I have posted them on Cheat Code, and I found some trading meditations to get you ready for focusing and visualizing on what you want your trade, actually doing your strategy and seeing it successfully, or a meditation where you're just really quiet and peaceful and getting into a positive state right before you trade. And they're only like 10 minutes long. So yes, my energy, because I still have that fearful energy. As soon as I hit buy or sell, I'm like, until I'm out. And then when I'm out, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And I got to close my computer, so I have to work on that too. But first I'm working on strategy. I'm not trying to work on too many things at a time. I got my list and that's on there.
No, it sounds like you got a blueprint on the first step to get to where you can be successful. I would say, like, we got 2 more days till this month is over. Try to wrap that up. Know exactly what you're looking for. Use paper trade to refine the strategy to make sure that you know exactly how it executes. If it's not giving you 60% success on paper trade, chances are it's going to give you less than 60% when you go to live trade.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. And why do you say wrap it up between now and Friday?
I would say see if you can, so that way you can start a month fresh.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Well, not only just a month, we're going to have a brand new quarter, brand new month. We're going to call it brand new you as well.
Okay. Brand new trading me.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you guys and everybody. I really like hearing everybody else's contribution too, because there's a lot to learn from everybody. So thank you guys.
That. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. I think Christy was next.
I really only was talking because I didn't hear anybody else chiming in. I don't feel like talking.
Okay. All right. No problem.
I've been talking all day, Jeff. You know that.
All right, fair enough. Eve, you unmuted. You have something you want to share?
Yes, be patient. Be patient and wait for the trade to come to you.
Yep.
Because
it will come to you.
I learned it the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah. It will come to you. Like yesterday I had a really, really good trade, and it was me waiting for it to come specifically to my zone. And when it hit my zone, it was like second nature. I just executed. And then I was like, damn, I didn't even wait. I just clicked it. And before I sneezed, it already went like 20, 30 ticks down. And it was already giving me enough cushion so I can be able to make a sound judgment on how I'm going to manage it. By the time it was all said and done, I finished with like 130 ticks, just to kind of show that waiting for it was a lot easier than me just trying to force him, like, all right, I don't want it to run away. And then that FOMO kicks in. And, we talked about FOMO. So I agree with you, Eve. Absolutely. Being patient. So what else you learned from patience?
Stick to my plan, not to give up when I hear somebody be saying they will take this and take that, because that's when I get FOMO and I want to be in the same trade, and that's when I blow up my account. So now, like I said, it had teach me how to be patient.
Yep.
And wait for the trade to come and do and execute the trade.
And
they just walk away from the computer.
And I'll leave you with this as well. It's your trade. trade your plan. If your plan doesn't match up with what they're suggesting, then you got to either look over it to make sure you see the same thing that they see, or you just leave it alone. So don't get swayed. That's why I was saying, like, sometimes we'll feel like we're in the middle of an ocean and we let the waves push us. The trading floor can be that wave where we just like, oh, we're jumping into here, jumping into there, and then you get that whiplash. I would say just make sure you're trading your plan with your setup and you'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing. All right. We got Money Well now, and then we'll finish up with DeCarlo.
Yo, what up, JD?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before, but I have finally hit like one of the biggest goals that I had ever, right? Money wise.
Okay.
And I celebrated, I made sure I got off, and I told myself I'm not gonna trade anymore today because I wanted to keep my gains because I was close to being funded.
Yeah.
And this phone stays in my hand. So about an hour or two later, I just went to see just to check and paper trade it for a little bit. And I'm like, man, I'm still making money, man. If I can hit my goal today, let me see why not. And I just slowly started chipping away at it. And yeah, man, next thing you know, I heard the ding sound from Tradeovate, and I'm like, nah,
Oh, not that
don't tell
thing.
me I blew my account. I'm like, oh, shoot, yeah, and I ended up blowing it. So, I'm mad at myself for that. And yeah, man, this is getting to the point where it's like an addiction, man. And I don't want to end up being like a gambler or nothing like that. I don't think I am.
But I would say that no, I see where you're going with
that.
I think you got lost in the matrix a little. Are you still with us now? Let me make sure it's not me. Can y'all hear me clearly?
Yeah, we hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
I think his
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
cut. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you better now. Can you hear us?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're clear. Yeah, you guys are clear. I'm in the boonies, man. The woods of the outback of GA. But
okay.
Yeah, man, overtrading is my problem, bro.
I would say this. Listen, and this is probably something that helped me to stop from overtrading, and it's probably something that you might need to do as well. If I know for a fact I've already hit my goal, there's no way. No, and my goal for the day, there's no way you're gonna catch me in my account again. I'm paper trading. Another way that you could go ahead and do a trade, just do a trade count, right? I know Neil for a while, he did a one trade for the day. I agree. Uninstall the app, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I know how it feels. Like, it's so accessible. The market is different than like the 90s, 2000s. Like, we're in 2023. You can literally pick up your phone and get inside of a trade in less than 5 to 15 seconds if you see some news release, right? So I want you to either come up with a trade count that you feel comfortable with. Maybe it's 10 trades a day, and then you could space it out. Because what it does, it then makes you require you to make sure you're in your entry at your setup, because you know you only get so much of those type of setups, right? And then I want you to go ahead and consider a dollar amount. And I don't know which one's going to work for you, but just put a dollar amount. If you hit your goal for that day, you should be good, because it's going to take time for you to build that discipline. And if you decide to get in the market, even though you hit the goal, you got to ask yourself, how much of that goal am I willing to risk? And that's the last part. Oh, and don't forget, when you go into your Tradeovate, make sure you look at your trailing drawdown. You could go on tradeovate.com and watch it on the website, and you'll see that it gives you, hey, X amount before you blow your account. So that's another thing that you got to pay attention to too. All right.
All right, thanks.
You're very welcome. All right, DeCarlo. Yeah, exactly. You need to, but that's the thing. It could be that tight stop loss, but the problem is it's that it's hitting so many times of that stop loss. And remember, this is a numbers game overall. So the probability is the more you're exposed to the market, the more that the market is going to come back and get it. That's why the casinos want you to keep on playing. They get you drunk and this, that, third, because they want you to run out of money, because they know if they keep you there, guess what? You're going to keep on playing. So think of the market to that degree, but with a proper strategy, it won't even be a casino. It's just you're executing your strategy. All right. DeCarlo, go ahead.
Hey, word of the day for me, man, is greed. That's what happened with me today. My entries were on point. I followed my trading plan. I just got greedy. And at 1:30, when the market turned around, I decided, okay, let me go ahead and stay in it. Maybe just a small pullback. I was also at work, so I couldn't fully, pay attention to my phone like I wanted to. But when I got ready to open that thing back up again, man, all my gains were all taken away from me. And it's all because I got greedy. I was up a good size in both of my positions, and then everything just got taken away. So I just got to work on greed, and I also need to work on when to take profits and when not to take profits, because sometimes I take profits too early and they keep going.
So let me say like this. I would say, for the most part, you did nothing wrong. I want to say 90%, because you stayed in the trade because of what you said just now. You said, I tend to take profits too soon because it continues, right? I don't know what your setup is and what time frames is, and I don't want to get too, that's not what this part of the class is for. We could break that down in charting if anything, but I want you to kind of like ask yourself this question when you know you can't get back to your phone so quickly. How much am I willing to lose of this if this turns into zero? That every time you can't give, I don't know what your time frame is, one whole candle, maybe 5 minutes or whatever the case may be, because I'm a day trader. Technically, I can't even give it really much of 4 to 5 minutes before that thing starts to pivot and go against me because of my high leverage. So in your perspective, you got to ask that question, and it's going to be part of your strategy. I want you to triage that trade, right? Sit down, ask yourself what went wrong. And I would like you to do it today if you can. I don't know if you're off of work or not, because what can happen here is that it's so fresh in your mind, you'll know more of the details. If you wait too long to triage it, you might remember some of it, but not all the corrections can be made. So I would sit down, really dig down and ask myself these questions like, all right, what made my entry? All right, good. I stayed in it. All right, guess what? I can watch it at lunch, but after lunchtime, I need to put a trailing stop loss, or I need to pick a number that I'm okay. If it comes back, I'll just take that money. Because what ends up happening a lot of times, like today is a fluke thing, right? We pretty much dumped. And it looked like if you came to that chart and you looked at a certain time frame, you thought there was no bottom in the market completely. And I could see where you're like, all right, you know what? After work, I'll check it. I can see that happening. But just like when we get inside of a car, we put our safety seatbelts on. It's not because we want seatbelts. It's because at the end of the day, what if some idiot just comes out of nowhere and just blindsides me? We put doors on cars for safety. We put lifeboats on cruise ships because of what happened with the Titanic when we didn't put proper risk management in place. So consider that what this is more like a learning lesson. And then when you go triage it, you can get into the details of, all right, this is how my schedule at work is, and this is how I can trade, because we only do this for freedom, right? So you got to know where you're going. And now that you know where you're coming from, now you know what you need to fix.
Gotcha. And see, the thing was, the reason why I decided to go ahead, because what the daily looks like, the daily looks very bearish.
It does.
So, I jumped down to my 1 hour, and it's still, looking at the MACD, everything still looked bearish. I did not see the turnaround, but I wasn't on with Pablo, but Pablo, kind of talked me through it. The 3 minute.
Okay.
I don't really trade on the 3 minute, but he pointed out on the 3 minute, you can see there was a bullish divergence.
Yep.
And because I didn't go down to the 3 minute, I failed to see it. So
I'll tell you this: we was on the floor, and I had to kind of like run out around 2 o'clock, and I was looking at it. I was like, yo, this thing looks like it's putting bullish divergence. And I think Steve Key even chimed in. He was like, man, we got bullish divergences everywhere. I think it was like the 1, the 5, the 3. I think the 15 even had a bullish divergence, but it was having a divergence mostly throughout the day. And it just kept on getting pushed down and pushed down. But every time it pushed down, it was making more of a bullish divergence. So we thought it was going to make an explosion. I didn't think it was going to be that big of an explosion. So when I took my calls, because I even took a couple of option plays, it went up 60% from the time I left my computer in 15 minutes for me to get in my car. And that's how violent of a reversal that it was. So I would say for this, I'll say you're absolutely right, but you can't be everywhere at the same time, right?
Right.
And so I do appreciate his suggestion on the 3-minute, but even though I would still ask myself if I know I cannot see my chart or I can't manage the trade, because what you were doing was kind of like day trading while still working. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's extremely hard, because all it takes is that one customer or that one manager that takes your focus completely out. And then I know you're so focused in the work, you're like, oh, I'm still in the trade. Let me go check on it. That is probably the scariest thing that you're going to have when it's all said and done.
Yeah. I mean, I still had a green day today, due to Costco. So I did take that to the upside.
But it could have been greener.
Yeah. Because I was actually up. I was actually up over $500 today, and it dropped back down to like 268.
Okay. But that's good. It's a green day, and now you got something to go off of. You still made something today. Now, how do I fix this so that way I can finish with 5 instead of 250?
Right. Appreciate it, man.
All right. You're very welcome. All right, everybody. This is pretty much it. This is how it works. I'm going to be doing this every Wednesday. If you want to see my schedule, this is pretty much it. The only thing that's still a question mark right now is my Tuesday through Thursday for night trading. I'm still trying to work that out. I'll let y'all know when that pops off. But if you want to see more, come to cheatcode.com. You can find us. You can find a great community. We're very helpful. We're very engaging. You see a lot of our coaches on there. If you want to learn about futures, go ahead and book your one-on-one. I could break it down for you. But trading floor, 8 a.m. to 1:30, it's not comparable to any other trading floor. We have fun. We bring energy. We make money. If you've never been on a trading floor, come check us out. And I appreciate everyone that spent their time today and those that contributed. Thank you very much. I have a great day.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about 8 a.m. East Coast time?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Easter. I did say I was going to update that. Thank you, Felita. Okay. And so yes, this is all Easter.
5 a.m. my time.
Oh, you over in the West? All right. So 5 a.m. your time.
La okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.